Hey everybody, this is Guy with Survive. We have been busy and it's time to do a huge shop walkthrough here. Before we jump into that, I did want to mention a few things with regard to our production schedule and this production update. I know there was a lot of people looking for a super fast fix to the Dutch bushcraft knives debacle that happened with the decarburized parts. If we hadn't already been committed to moving, we could have handled that a lot faster. If we'd have landed a little faster here to a better situation, we could have handled it a bit faster. Those things didn't happen. I apologize for that, but please know we're making really good progress now, and I think after this video, things are gonna make a lot of sense. So, looking at some of the feedback, people just wanting us to stop and only work on this until it's all done. We're ignoring a lot of realities to manufacturing business. One, manufacturing is very heavy on upfront costs. The materials we use are insanely expensive. They take a lot of planning in most cases to get them here, so there's a lot of waiting. So when we were moving, we were still officially figuring out how the parts had gotten messed up. So it was a little too soon to be buying a bunch of materials, and as we were moving, that wasn't a good time to buy more materials either. But as people are looking at some of these materials that we're doing things with, we're just making the best of the situation and recalculating the route based on what occurred. So we're moving ahead very, very well now, but like if you're looking at K890 and some other things that were coming through the shop here, I can't stop that. This took a year to get this material. So we're gonna do stuff with it. It's not affecting anything that we're working on with pre-orders or any of our backlog. We're creating new stuff out of this that we had already intended to be making while circling back around to address this situation. I can promise you the only complaint you're gonna have is on that delay, not the quality. Our quality is looking amazing. So with that said, we're gonna take a walk through the shop here. So starting here over at the water jet, this thing's been cutting a lot. We're just about processed the last of our K890 sheets at this point, as well as most other steel that we have laying around here. We have been cramming our pipeline full of new stuff so that we can transition to having in-stock availability a lot faster, and that's gonna buy us the breathing room to finish out the rest of our backlog to the high standard that you're expecting. We're not just trying to get rid of old promises. We want to do everything to the highest possible standard based on where we are today. So with all of this stuff that we have going on here, we're going to be transitioning to in-stock very quickly while getting all of these other things finished up very quickly. So looking here at what's cutting on the water jet, I'm not ready to talk about it, but you can see that it is working. There's been some folks asking us, Guy, what would you do for a hunting knife? You're gonna find out real soon. So this has been busy. We're cutting pretty much non-stop. We've got a half sheet off here this morning, and we're just gonna keep this processing and moving. We've got great efficiency here in the shop, which I'm gonna show you both in this video and through what we're doing. We've got this. So I'll give you a sneak preview real quick. It's long, it's very graceful looking, and it's very thin and efficient. So look at the website soon under the EDC series. You're going to see 2 new options showing up, and you're going to see them when they're real. So very, very excited. We're cutting more EDC 4s, some of this new model, some of the next model. Getting things really loaded up here to having good, predictable production while we're just using our downtime in between to finish up some of these older projects, which we're going to talk about here. But know that we are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parts ahead already on new stuff, and by the end of this week, it's going to be a lot. I'll show you here. But already here, looking at these EDC 4s and LMAX, we've got about 300 here. 20 are what we have orders for. So we're way ahead on this. We're working on M390 as well, the K890. We're going to get more Magna Cut in here until we are just so far ahead of this that I know we have in-stock availability on this, and then we're going to work on the next thing and the next thing. So as we're clearing out the backlog and freeing up more and more of our schedule for these fresh projects, you're going to notice our in-stock availability going from a little bit to a lot pretty quickly. I'm so happy. So we've got that going on. We're about to start on the last of these, like the Necker 2, the EDC2, the Pakal, this little special version of the Vendetta 5.5. All of that is getting ready to start production while we're clearing the rest of what is been heat treated, moving this through grinding and finishing and assembly and getting it to its forever home. So moving from here, we've got plenty of stuff going on here, and I'll show you what's happening over here at the grinder. Side note, we do have a plan for that. You're gonna see those annealed working through production real soon. The majority of them are bowed this way, so we've got a plan for dealing with this. So keep that in the back of your brain. So moving over to the grinder, this is what most people are curious about right now, so I'm gonna spend some extra time here. This whole damn big batch of hundreds and hundreds of 5.1s are all ground now. These are the stacks that we're gonna just do a little additional flattening before final grinding. But by the time Mike is done sharpening TSKs over there, I think tomorrow-ish, we're gonna have tons and tons of 5.1s ready to go on for bevel grinding and headed through finishing and out the door. So these are all done, ready for final grinding after a little bit of flattening, and then all of these over here are ready as soon as I burn up the last of this wheel over here. These are all ready for finish grinding. So we've got a bunch of 3V, a bunch of Magna Cut. They're just over nominal. If this was anybody else's knife company, these look great. This is a great standard, but since it's a 60 grit finish, you can sometimes get a piece of 60 grit media pulled through there. So we do go that extra step and take that to a 150 grit finish, because as nice and smooth as this grinding is, 150 grit piece of media is not going to create the same gouge potentially as 60 grit. So it's a great finish, but that's just one of the things we do to go that little extra step further and make sure they're just really damn nice. So here in the surface grinding area, we're making really, really good headway here. We're smashing through all of this preheat treat grinding, and I'll show you why here in a second. During this quiet time, I've been doing a lot of thinking, working through things, and reevaluating our strategies, developing new strategies. So for the first time ever, we have 30 parts on this table for annealed grinding. That's the highest yield we've ever had, and we're doing it with a good layout strategy. We've got the machine really dialed in, but then we've kept pushing this wheel development to get this to where we have a very predictable breakdown of the wheel, even with this much surface area. So these parts are grinding with an immaculate surface finish with a high degree of accuracy. We have less than 1/10 of a thousandth of deviation across this whole table now. So the crosshatch pattern looks really good. We have excellent uniformity. It's very efficient. So we've just been throwing stuff over at the mill here in between working on some of our other stuff. So we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline to make that quick transition. And we've got a lot more that we're going to be working on here. Give me just a few more days and we should have a pretty predictable schedule of everything as it's working past this point and out the door. Is there anything else I should mention here, Al? So lots going on here. I will have all of these 5.1s ground and over to bevel grinding this week. And we'll have all these done probably by tomorrow. I was working on some 12s here this morning. I've really got the grinder dialed in, so the surface finish from end to end just looks immaculate. I'm so pleased with how this is going down. So this morning I got about 100 EDC4 surface ground ready for over at the mill. I got 18 more 12s ground and ready to move to bevel grinding. So as soon as we have some downtime, we'll keep working on this stuff and getting it pushed out as we have time. I do just wanted to show, and stuff like this we didn't start these projects, but we're gonna finish them, all right? I made you a promise, so we're gonna get them done and to a very high standard. But we talked about some of the bowing before and how that relates to material strain that I've seen, but the Crew Forge was an extreme example, but even in 3V, as we get into some of these bigger pieces, I can see where we're having some small struggles here. So just lining our ends up here, we have here in the middle, there's about 60 thousandths of deviation between these two parts. So one is smiling a little more than the other. And this is where I'm saying we just need time to make sure that everything is as right as possible, and we have a good plan for dealing with everything. We're not just throwing hollow effort at things. That's a great way to burn up money and not have a good result anyway. So we've sharpened our pencil on this. We have good plans for dealing with these slight variations while still holding really good standards on your end, so that you have that high quality product you're expecting. I do apologize for the delay, especially on these, but know that we have a plan for getting these finished up very efficiently now, and we have better plans, as you can see with the progress we're making here, for doing these next time. I will absolutely not start doing any choppers or anything big like this until I know that we have a solid plan for moving this through our whole shop. Right now, that's not in line with what our capabilities ideally are, but we have been taking lots of notes on these. I understand how to move forward with those. So you folks asking, by spring, we should have some of our new designs ready to roll out, and I should have a good plan here to get these moved through production in a way that makes sense for everybody. And you get a high quality tool, and I'm not driving myself crazy here trying to hold a good standard with these. So that's what's going on here. We're already ahead on EDC4s and K890. We've already got extras, and then there's hundreds more that are going to be ready for heat treat by next week. So just know that most of this is going to be moving through surface grinding this week. I'm just going to stay down this hyper focus hole. So you folks asking about 5.1s, EDC series stuff, the GSO 4.7s, the GSO 4.5s, and Magna Cut and K890, it's all here. I'm just going to go down a focus hole, get this stuff done. It's just, there's no secret to it. It's just a bunch of hours and staying at this bench to get it all done. We know how to get there now, so it's just a matter of standing here and getting it done and moving it through finishing as efficiently as possible. Not sure what's going on there, but we have a misfire. Yep, there we go. So that's what's going on here. There's a lot of extras here, and it's starting to push all of our backlog out of the way. So I'm happy to be getting this backlog done. We're just down to, again, the things that got decarburized. Again, that's not our fault, but we are making it right. We're gonna make sure these are amazing, that they're well worth the wait and the money you spent on these. And then the only thing left really are big things that we inherited. We already paid money for that, but we're getting it done. So looking over here at Haas number 1, we're continuing to machine EDC4 blades. That's going really, really well. Like we talked about over there, we are way, way ahead and just wrapping up the last of the LMAX here. So we got making lots of good parts here today, and this will be the last of our batch. That'll bring us up to a little over 400 LMAX, and then we'll start working on M390. And tonight I'll be working on fresh batches of the Böhler K890 to catch those up to the parts that we already have done and through heat treat. And we can't forget what's going on here in Haas number 2. We're continuing to machine handles. That is going really well. Looks like we're all loaded up here for Op 1 as soon as Op 2 is done. But we just keep the machines running here. We're making lots and lots of EDC4 handles and making excellent progress. Okay, so we are over here at the VF3 now. Like I said while I was standing over there, we're currently working on sharpening. Well, now, not now because I'm standing here, but that is going really, really well. I am so proud of Mike for how far he's pushed the grinding and sharpening and everything. Related to this, know that all the projects coming up, like the 4.7, 5.3, 5.5, everything that you've been seeing, we already have all the bevel grinding set up, the sharpening is set up. There's going to be no setups or delays as those items move through here. We already took our samples, have those sent off for sheet templating, so there's not going to be any of those delays either. As each of these projects is wrapping up, we have everything lined up so it all comes together around the same time, and this stuff can start moving out the door in a very efficient manner. So I guess from here we're going to move to the quiet side of the wall. Okay, so over here, obviously Ellie is not building knives right now because she's standing behind the iPhone, but she is just about done with building the 130 variant of the limited edition Scandi 4.5s. To the best of my knowledge, I think the thinner ones are pretty much all shipped now, but we're wrapping these up because she's just arrived, and we got the shipping notification for the EDC 2.7s. So I have a bunch of sharpening to do here in between grinding. So all these are built, they're done, they are ready to be buffed and put in sheaths as soon as those arrive. So we're going to be doing some sheath building parties because there's a lot of work when those come in. We wipe them all down, inspect them, blow them out, get them assembled, and it's very important that they all look the same. So that takes a little bit longer, I think, than people understand, but all of these will be leaving here this week. And then all of this decarburization chapter is once again out of our face. You guys got really nice knives for all that, and then we got to recoup some of that energy so we can continue investing in materials, tooling, and stuff to keep bringing this into a better and better place. So yeah, those are all leaving. We are starting to get prepared for what's coming next. With these happening, I know the next thing they're going to be working on are EDC3 setups. They're going to retune this sheath body into that model, and we shouldn't really have much in the way of changes or anything for approving production on those. And then the TSK is happening. We also have the GSO4 sheaths inbound, so you're going to start seeing those hitting the assembly bench and a lot of those moving out of here. Yeah, I guess we can step over here and talk about that. So a great way to support us is by placing a pre-order. That helps us to not get predatory lending to fund things that are very expensive. Helps us keep our prices low, and we really appreciate people just supporting the cause through those actions. If you're not into that, I totally get it. We are starting to get in-stock availability here. You've been seeing some glimpses. Mostly some of our resellers from overseas have been buying them in bulk, taking advantage of that tiered discount, but we do still have some extras here. And Ellie, you have anything to say about that? Okay. So you are going to start seeing some glimpses of just in stock. Some of these are going to get wrapped up, put in a box, and it'll be available for immediate shipping. We also have some in stock based on in stock components that only take a few days to get assembled to your specifications. And again, they ship out in, I think, 5 to 15 days is what we've been doing. And then any of the pre-ordering that's going on from here isn't going to take very long. We're smashing it, and we're going to continue smashing it. And we have enough diversity and different things in the pipeline that the situation that happened right before leaving Boise will not happen again. It can't happen again. We unfortunately just put too many eggs in that MagnaCut basket, specifically the 5.1 basket, and to have the delays with having to get all that figured out, retuned, and then move and get set up here, that just didn't work out the way we had hoped. But now we have enough things that I know are good. You can see from the K890 video the other day, the performance on that is phenomenal. So that's a really good option. It's heat treating really well. It's staying really flat. We've learned a lot from fixturing and handling up there with Peters. So everything has been going through production really, really smoothly. And all of the objectives we hope to accomplish by moving back here to Pennsylvania are working out. So I don't know if the universe is just telling us we were supposed to be back east, but other than some move-in delays and headache with that, we've had no issues since coming back here. So yeah, I guess with that said, I'm going to get back to work. But thanks so much for, if you're still hanging in there, putting up with this long-ass update. And I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for the support. And it took all of us and all of you to get it here. But I'm really proud of what we're doing now. And I can't wait for everybody to see what we're doing today. So we'll talk to you again soon, all right? Have a good day.